come up on you.
Oh shit.
Oh my God, shadow ban. You be shadow ban my so all right. First and foremost, we'd like to give all praise and glory unto
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here and shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, with GMS Mississippi camp on the brother Yasha Moffin to my right.
Halak.
All right, well, we're going to go into the day is dealing with kingly, standards, all right, and discipline, kingly standards and discipline, because we're going to go straight into the scripture, dealing with, let's get that, Jeremiah 2:21, because the thing about it, is we hear the term king, being thrown around a lot, even amongst Egyptology, king this and king that, and, niggas in New York, and at the end of the day, what we have to understand as a king, that's the king has the most responsibility within his realm. All right, so a king, will have to have a standard that's above everyone else to be able to maintain everyone else. Because the top duty of a king was to maintain his realm. A king's decision making will be based on the benefit of his realm and everyone in it. Okay? So a king will have to have a strictness, a discipline, a standard that was above everyone else, man. A king will have to have a structure because everything revolves around the king. Okay? So he will have to be the most structured, all right, within the empire to establish structure within his realm. Okay? So we're going to go into Jeremiah 2:21. You got it, brother.
This is Jeremiah 2, verse 21.
Yep.
Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, holy and right seed.
Yeah, I had planted thee a noble vine, holy a right seed. Go ahead.
How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?
So we was planted, meaning we was established as a holy, as a noble vine. Now let's get that word noble. Okay, in the Hebrew, we was established. Matter of fact, let's get that Deuteronomy 4:5. What you talked about. And the Hebrew word for noble is sharak. Okay, which means choice species of a vine, choice grapes. It says the richest variety. Okay, speaking in quality, because as a people, we are the richest quality of a people. That's why even in our lowest state, the world benefits off our natural attributes because we're that choice people in the earth.
Yeah, the salt of the earth.
Yeah, you the choice people. Okay, the best of the best. When you go buy clothes, and certain material and certain things, within clothing, you buy it based on the best material. Different buildings on the choice wood. Okay, Israel is that choice nation. You see, but what? Not only the attributes that we had, but the standard that we had. That's what kept us at a very high level as a people, man. Okay, so you go into that word noble, which is sharak. It said the richest variety, and then you go let's see. I'm gonna get it, but read that in Deuteronomy 4. Going back into, okay, that noble. He said we was planted a noble people. How did we become a degenerate? Okay, through the enchantments of Esau Edom, man. Nigga culture degenerated us, all right, to lewdness. to adultery, to being whores and niggas, and you know that's degenerated us into lewdness, man.
Mm-hmm.
And how are we degenerate? Because generate goes to generate, okay? Well, you degenerate, which means now you have a culture of death.
Mm-hmm.
You see, your decision making is based around death. The law was set up based around life. You know, we're gonna get into it. You get it, brother. You
This
got
is
it, brother.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5.
Yep.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as Yahweh, my power, commanded me,
Mm-hmm.
that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it.
So we was getting the law because we was going to be sovereign as a people. And me and the brother were discussing the law made us noble in standards. Of course, you know, the Lord put it in us where we have, these great physical abilities, we ingenuitive, and we have, just these great attributes as a people. But the law, okay, made us noble as a standard. And see, when we got that law going into sovereignty, and the law really was about keeping us in power. That's why everything in the law was based around inheritance, pro-family. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Yep.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations,
Yep.
which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
This great nation is a wise and understanding people. Okay? And you go into that word noble in the and this is in the Edom, it says illustrious, distinguished, of high rank or birth. Okay? Of high rank or birth. It says splendid, high born or superior birth. Okay? And the law gave us a standard that made us noble. That's why it was all about family. No, we don't want any whores in our nation. We want wives. Okay? No, we don't want lazy niggas in our nation. No, we want productive men. Okay? That fear Yahweh Shem Shah. Okay? We don't want thieves in our nation. No, we wanted men of integrity, honest men. Okay? The law, all right, made us noble, highborn, which was to keep us in power. Okay? Because the Lord knew the importance of family. Okay? That's why everything in the law, even when you deal with the infamous grape law, it was a pro-family law. If the woman wasn't betrothed to a man, there was another family. And guess what? They're going to have more Israelite sons and daughters, okay, that's going to create more houses. You see? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That point.
Yeah.
Right up,
And then, like you had said earlier, the king had, the king was set to a standard, because a king, the king would be the hot topic among the people. So people that if the king name keep coming up, people gonna start looking at him and pattern themselves after them. As the scripture has said, so are the people as the judge, roughly paraphrasing.
So the judge, so the people.
Yeah, the king will be the image, and the people, the shadow. They will go after that image.
He was the face of the nation.
He was the face of the nation. That's why the king was supposed to go through the law and be a man after the Lord. So the people will do the same.
Yep.
And that, by doing that, you going after the law, you becoming more noble. You becoming more noble. You cutting off like those lewdness, those lewd behaviors, those ignorant behaviors.
Yep.
You had, that you keeping a man becoming a thief and a robber and stuff like that.
Yep.
Keeping your daughter from becoming a whore.
Yep.
Again with the grape law.
The alphabet community.
The alphabet community.
All that was cut out because it was lewdness. Okay, and it didn't benefit the forwarding of a nation. Okay, the things that the Lord told us not to do because it hindered nation building. You see, this is what we understanding now. Okay. You got you.
Okay. As I was saying, like it keeps you disciplined. You couldn't go out of control because if you kill somebody, it's either you was gonna be killed or you have to go to another city because his family, probably want revenge. That way,
if you killed a man accidentally, you had those refugee cities you can go to. Okay, but if you just murdered a man, intentionally,
you put death.
Yeah, you put to death. And what did that hinder? Niggas being emotional. Because if I know if I kill you, the next hour I'm gonna be dead. If I murder you in the next hour I'm gonna be dead. What that's gonna do? It's gonna make me hold up. Is it this serious? You
gonna put thought before action.
Yeah. So now you can just shoot a nigga, and go to Denny's.
This is Proverbs chapter 25 verse 28.
Yep.
He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down.
And see, a king has discipline. When you're a king, you can't be emotional. Let's say you're having a sit down with another king in another realm. Okay, he might say something to rub you the wrong way. You can't be emotional, okay, and not have any discipline. Now you're in an argument. Now you got two nations at war. The king gotta have discipline. King gotta have foresight. He gotta think. Okay? That's the discipline of a king. He gotta think what's the worst outcome that could happen. And then start working his way back from there. But as a king, you always gotta have the worst outcome possible in mind when you're making decisions. And if you can't control your spirit, you're not thinking of the worst outcome that can happen. You would rather lose a little small battle today and win the war next week, man, than to win that little small battle today and lose the everything next week, man. Okay? You got it, bro.
He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
A city that's broken down without walls, you're defenseless. When you don't have when you don't have discipline, you defenseless. Okay? People become overweight. Why? Because they don't have discipline. So you're defenseless against your flesh, and now your flesh has you overweight. You see? People that can't save money or always in the money bind, that's because they don't have any discipline with money. They don't have no defense. So when you don't have discipline in anything that you do, you don't have defense. People that are alcoholics, they don't have the discipline to have a defense of becoming drunk all the time. Discipline is like a fence, okay, set up around you, man. It prevents. The discipline is preventive.
That was the law.
Yeah, discipline is proactive. Okay, and that's the standard of a king. A king will have to have extreme discipline to run a nation, man, to run a realm. Okay, even to run a house. As a husband that runs a house, you have to have discipline even when you run in that house. Sometimes you got to go without, okay, so the overhead can be maintained, and you have to lose you have to sacrifice personal little things, and just giving an example. But it's all rooted in discipline, man. You got it, brother.
It's Deuteronomy, back at Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 7.
Yep.
For what nation is there so great who have the Most High so not unto him, unto them, as the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for.
He's in all things that we call upon him for. Okay, why? Because our obedience gives us favor with Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. And it will be very crucial for a king to know that. Why was Israel blessed so much under King David? Okay, because he was obedient to the Lord. So he had access, all right, to the blessings of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Solomon, the majority of his rulership. Okay, he was he was able to get that favor through what? His obedience. Everybody prospered through Solomon's obedience. You see that? His discipline. When he prayed, he prayed a prayer of discipline. He had a mindset towards his people. Okay, everybody won from Solomon's decision making for the majority of his rulership, man. When they say silver was as the stones, that means the economy was crazy. You see? The economy was off the chain. Even when Solomon was it's overheated. Let me see. I'll just hold them and flip it. So it'll be out the sun. All right. Yeah, even when Solomon, okay, was marrying those heathen women, he was marrying the nobility of those heathen women, setting up different trade routes. So even, the women that Solomon was marrying, the heathen, his people was winning off that. You see? Hey, you got it, brother. Solomon wasn't just, damn, she fine. Like, nah, it was a purpose. You see?
God.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. What nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all